Hey guys, this is Tom Sullivan here with Real Talk Investing, and today I'm going to show you how you can become a millionaire through investing in the stock market. And to show you this, we're going to take you over to the investment calculator, and we're going to go through and show different versions of how you can reach that goal, whether it's a different return on investment, different capital utilization, and what you're putting in on a monthly or annual basis, and how long of a time period we're looking at. So let's jump into that calculator. Alright, so now that we got the calculator here, this is a great way to see how much money you're able to get over a long period of time through your investments. So what this calculator needs is what you're starting with. So if you have any money already invested or you have money that you can invest right away, this is where you would put that information. The after category is looking at how many years you're looking to invest over. So this could be when you're trying to look to see when you want to retire. So potentially if you're, say, 20s right now, 25 or so, you may be looking at a 40-year time frame. Now, I will mention here, the more time that you have, the more years, the bigger that investment will grow through compounding interest, which we'll take a look at as we go through this calculator. From the return rate standpoint, right now I have it set at 8%. So 8% is generally what has been seen from the S&P 500. So if you're investing in that or other ETF or mutual funds, 8% is on average what you will be seeing. So you can adjust that accordingly, whether you want to be more conservative with your number or try to go for a higher return on a year-to-year basis. But for right now, we'll hold 8% and we'll play around with that as well. And then moving down to the additional contribution standpoint, this is what do you plan on putting in, and you can do it over a monthly or a yearly basis. So to start us off, just to get right to the punch, big thing that we're looking at is what is that return that you could be getting to make yourself a millionaire. And in this example that we have here, we are starting off with $0, but after 40 years at an 8% return rate, if we put in each and every month $320, we will then have over $1 million at the end of that investment period. So just take a look at that, $300. So to break that down over, let's just say an average of 30 days per month, this would be equivalent to putting away about $10 a day and putting that money and putting it towards your future through investments to then get you to that millionaire status. But with that being said, let's now jump into each of these categories and see what happens if we adjust the numbers. So originally starting with the starting amount. With a starting amount, let's say that you do have $10,000 already saved up. So whether that's been given to you from a trust fund, money that you've saved up from working, or if you have a gift or something that's been given to you, with that $10,000, you'll see keeping everything else the same. If we calculate this number, we are now up an extra $250,000. And that's with just starting with $10,000. So in that case, just to show the example again, if your additional contribution was $0 a month and you just put $10,000 in, set it and forget it for 40 years, at the end of that time frame, you'll be sitting at $217,000 simply by just putting that money away at an 8% return rate. And this right here shows you the power of compound interest. So over time, that $10,000 grows, and then that money is what your next investment amount becomes. So it creates this great opportunity, as you can see from the graph down at the bottom, where over time, this graph starts to climb higher and higher, quickly leading to more money building up over time. As you look through the first 10 years, you have not moved much, but then as you progress from year 30 to year 40, we've gained over $100,000 in that time frame. So the longer you can hold on to that money, the further it's going to go for you. And to show that specific setup a little bit more, look at the difference if we were just to take 20 years of time frame, comparing it to 40 years of time frame. Now in this setup right here, so we still had that original $10,000 and invested that over 20 years at 8%. Look at that number. We have only gone up to $46,000. But by just simply holding that money for 40 years, so another 20 years on top of that, we have now got it up to $217,000. That's the difference that it makes on holding money for the long term. The longer you can hold on to it, the further that money will go for you in the future. Now, if you want to look at this from a different way, as say, well, I want to see how long it's going to take for me to get to $1 million if I'm getting an 8% return. And through these tabs here, you can go around and play with different settings. And from an investment length standpoint, you could put what your target is, what your starting amount is, which in this case we'll say is 0, and what you can plan to put each month. So if you have a situation where each month you're able to say put away $1,000 per month, that'd be $12,000 across the year. You can then calculate that out to see how long it will take you to reach $1 million in your investment accounts. And in this situation here, it's just a little over 26 years for you to be able to have $1 million, become a millionaire, through simply putting $1,000 away per month. And you can adjust this based off of what your different opportunities are, how much money you have to work with, and that's where you'll be able to then get an assessment of how long that time frame will be. Now, other things you could change in this situation, if we stick with that $1,000 contribution each and every month, if you're able to watch your investments and get yourself just 4% more to get up to 12% per year, you were able to cut off about 5 years from that time frame. So it just shows you how important it is to make sure you got your money invested as soon as you can, so that way you can sit in there for the longest period of time, and also make sure that you have your money in the appropriate accounts. This right here is just a perfect example of how you can now take a small amount of money and, based off of holding that for a long period of time, can achieve the goal of becoming a millionaire. Now, what we'll also take a look at is just the different ways that these categories can have an effect on how you can reach that overall goal. So simply taking a look at additional contribution, we'll start with $0, but if we want to make it to $1 million after, let's say, 30 years at a 10% return, here now you can see the number that you need to plan to invest and contribute to your accounts each and every month. So in this situation, we're looking at $485 each and every month if you can guarantee yourself a 10% return, and after 30 years you will be sitting on $1 million. And this just goes to show that anybody can achieve the status of millionaire if you have the time and you have the finances that you are willing to invest. We're not talking very large numbers here. You have the flexibility over a time frame. So for instance, if we are talking 40 years, in this situation you have to be able to contribute $180 per month. Breaking that down over 30 days, that's about $5 a day. So we're talking about a Starbucks coffee worth each and every day. And after 40 years, you will now have $1 million sitting in your bank account, in your investment account, ready to help you through your retirement time frame. So thank you everybody for watching this video, and hope you were able to see that there are plenty of ways that you can reach the status of millionaire, and that may be through adjusting your finances and cutting out that extra coffee here and there so that way you're able to invest $5 a day, or that may be figuring out where your account's currently going to for your investment strategies. Are you investing in mutual funds? Are you in ETFs? Are you investing in individual stocks? Figure out what that return rate is that you're currently seeing, and where does that put you on the long track to being able to hit your goal. And also, try to figure out what's the best way for you to be able to manage these funds long term. Whether that number is hitting $1 million, whether it's hitting $500,000, whether it's hitting $10 million. Through these calculators, you could find out the best way to achieve that goal. So be sure to, whether it's an app, you can download investment calculators for your phone, or whether it's through the internet, there are plenty of investment calculators that you can play around with to be able to see what is it that you necessarily need to do to hit that financial goal of yours. And as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. I'd be more than happy to help. And thanks again for watching the video. See you next time.